Okay, I want to talk about Chris Jericho. So many people have asked, so many fans, other wrestlers have tried to ask Jericho, hey, are you ever going to come back to WWE? Are you going to wrestle for Vince McMahon again? I find it very, very unlikely that he'll wrestle for WWE ever again. I think he's happy with that. What I do see is one day when his career is basically over completely, he'll probably go to WWE for his Hall of Fame thing. I think that'll be about it. I just don't see him wrestling with WWE anymore. He seems so much happier when he does stuff with New Japan and with AEW, putting younger people over like Orange Cassidy, MJF, Moxley. And Moxley's not a young guy, but he did kind of help him become bigger with AEW. And he's working with Santana and Ortiz, the inner circle thing going on. So, and it's just, and he's talked in his podcast before, and other people's podcasts, about why he chose to sign with somebody else instead of WWE for the first time in a long time. And he said he's able to just be more of himself, He doesn't have to go off of somebody else's script. And when he has an idea and puts it out there for his boss and other people, they're like, hey, let's try it, let's do it. And, I guess he feels more appreciated by AEW, by Tony Khan, than he does by Vince and WWE. And maybe it's just better for him, I've seen a lot of wrestlers over the years. Moxley, I've seen CM Punk, Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, among others, that do better when they don't go off somebody else's script or don't exactly do what somebody else tells them to do, if that makes sense. So I think that's the main reason why Jericho won't go back. I don't think he hates WWE at all. I don't think he has anything against Vince. I'm sure if you ask him, and maybe deep down he feels that WWE was probably one of the best things that could have ever happened to him, just because he was already, I remember, he was already a big name with New Japan and ECW, WCW. But he also got bigger because of WWE, First ever undisputed champion, unified tag champion, 6, 7 world titles, most intercontinental titles, 10 times if you include that one title from New Japan. He's done it all, man, and he's been a part of some of their biggest moments. So he probably looks back and says, you know what, I think it was a great career. I enjoyed myself. He clearly makes a claim for the GOAT status, if not one of the greatest of all time, which is also still pretty good. It's just, I think, like I said, when you give somebody more freedom and you give them more space to work with and just be themselves more than being told what to do and stuff all the time, sometimes people do better and actually have a more meaningful career, So that's just my opinion, That's crazy. Chris Jericho's 50 years old. He's still rocking it, man. He can still wrestle, still putting people over. He has his own theme song. He sings his own song, Judas. One of my favorite songs, by the way. So that's just my opinion. I don't see Jericho wrestling for WWE ever again. He might consider it a lot, to say the least, but I still don't see that happening.